Hey, let's talk about why big changes can be what's actually crushing your progress. And in addition, here's the big surprise. I'm also going to tell you why consistency can also be what's stopping you from making great progress. So, about to blow your mind here with this one. Now, let's start with the first one. If we're talking about big changes, I want to make an analogy here so that you fully understand what I'm talking about. Let's say you go to work. Let's use the analogy of work. All right, so you go to work, and what happens is every single day you have something new and you don't even know what you're in for. You go to work, and the boss says, guess what? You're flying to Japan today, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna package goods and then come back. All right, cool. You do that. It's exciting for a minute, but then you come back exhausted because you weren't ready for that, and that was a heck of a lot of work, something you're not used to. And then what happens is you go to work the next day and your boss says, oh, we're not working here. What you're gonna do is we're gonna pack up your office and we're gonna go somewhere else. And then what I want you to do is dig a hole 20 feet deep. All right, cool. You're exhausted from that because when the heck have you picked up a shovel last, right? And then lastly, you go to work on the third day and then you say, hey boss, what are we doing today? Where are we going? He says, sit down in your chair. You're gonna sit on the play on the computer and print out 13,000 pages of a super long document. And then on day 4, you come back one more time, and then he says, you're gonna work the assembly line and you're gonna do this. Every minute, every hour of the day. You're gonna do that the whole entire time. Well, this sounds like a pretty chaotic week, right? This is a week where you're throwing your body and your mind through all sorts of loops, things that you've never done before. So, where am I going with this? Well, imagine if you did that to your gut. Imagine if the food you put in your mouth was so varying, was so different, was changing so much every day and every meal that it was too much to handle in one sitting, it was so unstimulating in another, or it was just something completely out of left field that your gut bacteria, your body's just not used to. That is what happens when you make big changes. So let's say an example of that would be if you are eating whatever it is you eat, but then all of a sudden one day you're like, hey, let's take down this package of cookies because man, those cookies are great. I just can't help myself. So you take down the whole package. And then the next day you end up eating nothing. You're like, oh, I feel so guilty. I'm gonna do nothing. That's a big change, right? But then also you could go the very next day and have a whole host of carbohydrates and 0 protein, or vice versa. And then the opposite day, the next day do the opposite. So you're looking at throwing your body for massive curveballs, and your gut bacteria, which are so many different strains, can't handle that. It populates according to what you're eating. And your body gets conditioned to doing what it is that you're normally doing. So if you're throwing it for a curveball every single day, it has no idea what to do, and then you have a ton of inflammation because your gut bacteria cannot handle all these varying things. Okay, so that leads me to the second point of consistency. You might say, well, if I can't be random, then Randy, how in the heck am I supposed to eat? Well, with consistency, right? Yes, but not so much consistency that you have no variation in your body and things get stagnant. All right, so I'll elaborate. Let's just say you go to work again. Here we go. And every day, all day, you do this. You're on the assembly line. This movement, repetitive movement for 4 hours. And then you get a lunch break. And then you do it for another 4 hours. Heck, they have you on overtime. Could you imagine this getting repetitive, tiring, monotonous, boring? Do you think that you're gonna grow intellectually? Do you think you're gonna grow as a person, as a family man or a woman? Do you think you're gonna grow as a human from doing that same thing all day, every day, for weeks, months, years on end? No, of course not. So, how do you think that your body is gonna respond to eating the same exact foods every day, all day, the same amount of foods every day? The same thing's gonna happen. It's not going to grow. You will get it to, or even shrink for that matter. Let's say you get results right away because you changed your diet and all of a sudden you're at this certain place and then you're eating that same way. You finally found that magic diet or that magic plan or that magic way of eating to get the results that you want. But then all of a sudden things stop. You ever wonder why? Consistency, too much of it. You have to go through phases. You You have to not trick your body, but get your body to adapt. And again, if you get your body to adapt by making a huge change, your body's going to revolt. That's how you get bloated. That's how you end up getting sick. That's how you end up getting serious inflammation. Wake up dehydrated or with a headache or whatever. So, big changes, no bueno. Doing the same exact thing always, also no bueno. So what's the answer? Find that balance. And if you're not sure how to do that and go through those phases yourself and make those changes while staying in the middle of the spectrum, well, then it's probably time to reach out to a professional, someone who is trusted by having great results with tons of clients, who also has an education, a background, and tons of experience at this. Well, I'm here for you if you're looking to make those changes, to make your diet finally work for you, not against you, and finally fit into the pants that you want to fit into, and finally look the way you want to look and feel how you want to feel. All right, then that's where I come into play. So I hope you find this helpful, or at least identified a way that you can, someone who you can reach out to get you to where you want to go. Then great. Reach out to me. Let's make it happen.